So in this session we will be providing a brief overview of the range of legal issues which you will need to consider if you're thinking of setting up your own business. Now it's important here to remember that legislation differs from country to country and also changes over time. So whilst here we will cover the basics, the responsibility lies with you to research your chosen business sector in order to ensure that the information you have regarding your legal obligations as a business owner is accurate and up to date. So by the end of this session, you should be able to firstly demonstrate a basic understanding of the legal issues for your business. And you should also be able to demonstrate an understanding of the most appropriate company structure for your business. And you should also be able to select an appropriate trading name for your business. But first, let's look at the business structure. Now, there are a number of legal structures which you can choose for your business, each with their own rules, advantages and limitations, and we'll look at each of these in turn. So let's start with the sole trader. Now, the sole trader is by far the most common structure for a new business, and it's very simple to set up and operate. With a sole trader, there is a single business owner, and that owner is, to all intents and purposes, the business itself. The main aspects to be aware of are as follows. The company name can be a business name or it can be your own name, but you need to do an online search to make sure that the name is not already in use. With a sole trader, there's no legal requirement to register the business name or to publish financial accounts. Instead, you'll complete an online self-assessment tax return and submit this to HMRC, and this is where you'll pay your tax and national insurance contributions also. From whatever profits are left, the owner can draw earnings which are referred to as drawings. As a sole trader, your personal assets such as a home are not protected. If you experience financial difficulties, the people that you owe money to can seek to recoup this money through your personal assets. Having said that, the sole trader is still the most appropriate structure for the individual business owner to use at the very start of the business, mainly because there are very few legal obstacles to overcome and less associated expenses. So next we have the partnership, and a partnership is basically a sole trading business with more than one owner. Most commonly there are two partners or owners, but there can be many more. A partnership is basically a sole trader with multiple owners, and whilst each partner is a joint owner, the shares and the portion of the business that they own do not have to be equal. Each partner is individually and collectively liable for all the business debt, so each partner is therefore dependent on the other partners, and for this reason it's vital that when entering into a legal partnership that you put a formal partnership agreement in place, which is essentially a legally binding contract outlining how you all intend to run the business together. This sets out the basic ground rules and can prevent serious problems from developing further down the line. So now let's look at the limited company, and unlike a sole trader or a partnership where the owners legally are the business, a limited company is a separate legal entity in its own right, and whilst there are undoubtedly more rules and regulations to adhere to, it's generally the best structure for a more substantial or growing business. The key aspects to consider here are, firstly, the business debts are the company's debts unless those debts have been personally guaranteed by the directors. All limited companies must be registered with Companies House and need a minimum of one director. As a director of a limited company, you are an employee of your own business and you pay tax and national insurance just as any other employee does. Your company will also pay corporation tax and employer's national insurance, and the owner's earnings are called wages. As a limited company, you will also need to publish annual accounts, and you need to pay an accountant to do this. So now we have the social enterprise, and this is a business which exists to achieve a social aim. Social enterprises are sometimes referred to as not-for-profit businesses, and this description is misleading, as social enterprises must generate a surplus just like any other business. Now, this surplus is then used to do some form of good work. The main points to understand about social enterprises are as follows. There are various forms which social enterprises can take, such as charities and community interest companies, to name just two. Social enterprises combine commercial and philanthropic methods, and success is measured not by how much money they earn, but by how well they serve their social aims. The social enterprise is a popular model in situations where there are service gaps, such as rural or deprived areas, and owners can draw wages from the business just like any other. So lastly, we have the cooperative, and this is a legal structure where a group of like-minded but independent commercial businesses come together to work towards a common goal for mutual benefit. In our cooperative, decisions are made in a democratic way by the members, who have a vote and elect a board of directors to provide governance. Cooperatives aim to support members in areas such as buying, selling, marketing, facility sharing, or, for example, bidding for contracts. Risk and reward is shared amongst the membership, and the benefits of cooperatives include things like sharing costs, increased scale, and the fact that the business can retain its own brand. Cooperatives work well in sectors such as food and drink, tourism, and creative industries, and owners' earnings again are known as wages. So next let's look at value added tax, or VAT. And VAT is something the entrepreneur will encounter if they're intent on growing the business, and the main points to be aware of in relation to VAT are as follows. VAT is simply a tax on sales, and you will need to register for VAT when your sales in any 12-month period exceeds the current VAT threshold, and you can check online with HMRC to find out what that threshold currently is. This will also tell you what percentage of your sales you will need to pay to HMRC in VAT. The benefit of being VAT registered is that you can reclaim the VAT on all your purchases. Remember that the spreadsheet we are using manages all the VAT calculations for you automatically, so you will not need to calculate this yourself when doing your financial projections. We also need to think though about environmental health legislation. This requires business owners to ensure that people's living and working surroundings are safe, healthy and hygienic, and this may have legal implications for your business. There's also the street traders licence to think about, which is a permit which is needed by any person who carries out trading on the street or any other public place, whether it's from a vehicle, a kiosk or a movable store. So now let's look at some of the other legal issues that we need to think about if we're going to be starting a business. So if you're intending to run your business from commercial premises rather than your home, then there are a few things you need to consider here. Firstly, you'll probably need planning permission if you want to build something new, make a major change to a building, or to change the use of a building. Planning consent is granted by the relevant local planning authority, and you can find out more about this online. In addition to planning permission, there will also be a requirement to apply for a building warrant before starting any major building work on premises. Commercial rates, non-domestic rates or business rates are a property-based tax, and rates are charged on all business properties. Rates calculations are based on the size of your premises, the condition of your premises and the rentable value of your premises, and this can be a significant cost for your business. You'll also need to think about a commercial lease for any property, which is a legally binding rental agreement between a landlord and you as a tenant. So now let's look at business insurance, and this is a general term used to describe the range of insurance products taken out by a business owner to cover potential risks to the business. The most common forms of insurance products are as follows. Firstly, we've got public liability insurance, and this provides cover to the business where a member of the public has suffered physical or financial loss as a result of something the business has done or failed to do. Next, we have employer's liability insurance, which enables an employer to meet the cost of compensation for employer's injury or illness where these are caused on or off site. Then we have professional sales and service indemnity insurance, which provides cover if a customer suffers loss as a result of a failure of the business in a specific professional capacity.
And lastly, buildings and contents insurance enables the business owner to repair or rebuild premises or replace equipment which has been stolen or accidentally damaged. And the final thing we need to think about is taking on employees. Here we'll need a basic understanding of employment law, which encompasses a whole range of issues which can prove problematic for the new business owner, such as contracts of employment, paternity, maternity and adoption leave, and pensions. So that's an overview of the main legal issues you may need to address if you're looking to start a business. But remember that it's down to you to carry out some basic research into your chosen sector to establish which of these legal issues applies to your specific business case.